And that is Just Breathe Baby by the fantastic Lauran Beth, who I have on the phone with me now. Lauran, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Dylan.
Hi Lauran, how are you?
I'm grand. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thanks for coming on to speak to us on the station.
Thanks for having me.
So I suppose just to get us started off, for the uninitiated, how would you describe your music? How, to someone who's never heard it before, what kind of genre do you fit into? And just give us the introduction.
Okay, well, it's kind of hard because when I was writing the song, I was influenced by a lot of different genres, but I suppose the primary genre would have to be pop. But there is a bit of, I suppose, rock and an 80s style influence too. But overall, I would say it's pop and, optimistic pop. So.
If you had to say, it would be pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was it always meant to be that way? Have you always been influenced by that kind of style and that kind of mix of different things? Or do you think it's kind of grown and kind of changed from something else over time?
Well, I always thought that the song would sound the way it sounds, because even though I grew up listening to a lot of heavy music as well as pop, I always felt that my songwriting and my voice would suit pop music more. So, yeah, I definitely always imagined it to be a pop record.
Do you think that you've gotten... do you think you've gotten better at writing songs over time? And what I mean by that is, do you think it's a faster process? Do you think it comes to you a lot quicker? Or is it a case-by-case thing? Some songs might be hard to write while others will be easy.
It's definitely a case-by-case thing, because I get writer's block from time to time. So I could go through a phase of about 2 or 3 weeks where I'm really good at writing down and expressing my feelings, and then I find a really good melody that goes with it. And then it could be another month or so where I just find it really hard to write music and, get the lyrics out. So it's definitely a case-by-case thing. But with this song, I wrote it very quickly. It was very easy to come up with the lyrics as well as the melodies, so...
When you started writing songs and putting them on YouTube, do you feel like you were different back then in terms of, you felt more motivated maybe to write because it was purely for fun and it was not formally recorded, I suppose?
I suppose I have changed. I have matured music-wise, definitely, because not only have I, learned how different ways to write things, basically, and how to make language of music more interesting. I've definitely learned how to express my emotions a lot more and bring that through to my songs. So I've definitely matured as in songwriting. But I wouldn't say that it has become less enjoyable. I still love writing music, and I don't see it as, I have to write. I see it as I want to write. So I still love it as much as I did when I was 14.
It's still a passion. It's still fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So this song, Just Breathe Baby, why did you choose to record this one in studio as opposed to one of your other songs?
Well, at the start, I wasn't very sure about recording this song, because when I wrote the lyrics, I related lyrics a lot. I know I wrote it a lot, but sometimes you write songs and you don't feel that it's relatable, but I really did feel this one in my heart. And when it came up as the idea of doing this song, I was a bit skeptical, you could say. I'm not really sure why, other than the fact that it was very personal and I thought it would be difficult. But then once we started getting plans for the song and recording, I immediately thought that, this is the right one. This is, one of my favourite songs that I've written, and I would love to record it. So at the start I was a bit unsure. But then once the process began, I definitely thought that it was the right song to record.
This song was recorded on the Beardfire Music label. So do you think that was your idea to record this song specifically, or was it the label, or was it kind of somewhere in the middle? You both kind of had the suggestion.
Well, the idea originally came from the label, Ron and Al, two amazing people who I recorded with, have listened to a lot of my previous songs, and they said from the start, like, just breathe, baby, you know, we think that that's just the perfect song to basically start my recording and everything. So that's why I was a bit skeptical at first. When they first said, just breathe, baby, I was like, I'm not sure. But then I trusted my instinct and I trusted their instinct. So it was definitely their idea first, but, you know, they're so clever, and the way they went about it was so good, and I immediately enjoyed it once we started. So,
what was the process of meeting Ronan and Al from the Dublin City Rounders and getting affiliated with the label?
Well, I first came in contact with them way back in February. I'm not sure who got in contact with who first. I think I might have texted them randomly and told them, you know, I have a YouTube channel, I'd love it if you checked it out. And I was not expecting anything more than them maybe to look at my songs, get a bit of advice. But then they responded and said, we'd love to have you on a radio show, which they do on Friday. And I was like so ecstatic. I was so surprised because I was not expecting that. So then once I went up to Dublin around April, and we recorded a live version of my other song, Pretty Enough. And then, but after being on the radio, I played a gig with them in the Art Cafe in Dublin. And then the idea came around to record and become a part of the label, which I was so happy because there are many other artists on the label that are just so amazing. So I was really appreciative of the fact that they wanted me on the label, and I could finally, you know, get my music out there more. So that's how it all started, really.
And so then when it came to the day to actually record the song, what was the process like? Were you surprised? Was there any big surprises to recording professionally? Just how did the whole day go?
It went very well, and there weren't many surprises. I think the only surprise I, discovered was it did not take as long as I thought it would, because everything went so smoothly. My ideas and the guys' ideas just kind of matched perfectly, and we only had to record things a few times and everything went really well. It was so relaxed because I thought, it would be like stressful, and I was a bit nervous originally, but then once we began recording, it just seemed like we were just playing music together. There was it didn't feel formal. So I guess the only thing, I thought it would be a lot more stressful and technical, but it really was just how I wanted it to be.
And were you 100% happy with how the song turned out, or are there changes that you would make and maybe kind of notes to take for next time?
Well, I love Just Breathe, Baby. I love how it turned out. As far as I know, there are no changes I would make, because all of the ideas that I really wanted, I got to incorporate into the song. And so once it was recorded and I heard it full through, I was just like, oh my God, like, this is exactly how I wanted it to be. There were a few times throughout, like, the production where there were a few parts that I did kind of want to change, and then once little parts were changed, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly how I wanted it to be. So I'm so glad it turned out the way it did.
Now that you've recorded a song professionally, does it feel any different to go back and record covers and original songs as well for YouTube videos? Does it feel like a much kind of a smaller deal than it would have before, or does it just kind of feel the same?
It feels the same, to be honest, because YouTube is where I started, and YouTube is like, you know, it was my main passion. I started it as fun, and really YouTube is the reason that, you know, I got the opportunity to record and play, you know, music and everything. So I suppose I have just as much of a passion for recording YouTube videos as I do for recording professional singles, because music is where it all started and it was my main passion for music. So it feels the same, really.
What the public might not know is that you've had a very successful time busking as well. Do you have any kind of funny stories or kind of anecdotes from when you were busking, or is it just kind of pack up and leave?
Well, one funny, I've definitely had a lot of people who have come up to me and just started dancing in front of me, and I'm in the middle of playing a song and there's loads of people walking past, and then there's just people dancing, and I'm like, where did you come out of? And then another time I was busking and somebody just left a pizza box beside me, and my mum was there with me, and we both looked at each other. We were like, what is this? So when we packed up, we opened it, and it was actually a perfectly fine cheese pizza, and I wanted to eat it so bad, but since a stranger left it there, I thought it wasn't the best idea, but that was definitely the funniest story.
So you definitely have a lot of stories to tell.
Oh, I do.
As well as busking for your own sake, for your own practice and experience, you also raised money for a charity called Reach, which is a charity to support people with upper limb differences in Ireland and the UK. How was the experience working with Reach, and do you think it was a successful day overall?
Well, I originally got in touch with Reach because obviously, you know, me missing my left hand, I really wanted to do something for Reach. It was very personal to me and meant a lot to me, and I went to Reach when I was younger, so I really wanted to help them out, and I thought that playing music would be the most fun way to do it. So I got to get my friends involved, and we had a really good day. We played music, you know, we talked to loads of people, you know, we really spread awareness, and I was so happy with how everything turned out, because it really meant a lot to me that the day went well, because I just wanted to share my experiences and help other people, and that's exactly what we got to do. So it went very well.
Going forward, what kind of plans do you have in terms of your music? Do you think that another single will come out in the very near future, or is that more of a pipe dream to come, something to come later on?
Well, to be honest, there are no set plans. I would absolutely love to record another single, and I'm sure I will soon. So I will definitely let everyone know when there's another single coming out. But right now, it's kind of focused on Just Breathe Baby coming out. It's out in 2 days, and just the response on that song. And, you know, the past 5 or 6 weeks I've been working around for this song, so I want to give Just Breathe Baby a chance, in a sense, before I go and start thinking about recording other songs. But I definitely will record a song again in the future.
In the process of promoting the song and trying to get it out there, were there any challenges or anything you were surprised by, or any kind of difficulties in terms of trying to get your song played?
No, not really. Everything seemed to go smoothly, because, you know, I had amazing help getting it out to, say, radio stations and getting people to hear it, and, you know, the day of actual recording went very smoothly and was a lot of fun more than anything. It didn't feel like professional or work. It felt like a hobby. So everything seems to have gone smooth sailing so far. So good, thank God.
If you had to pick another song now that you wanted to record professionally, what would that be and why?
Ooh, that's a hard one. probably my song Close Curtains, which I wrote like 3 years ago, so you can definitely see the lyrical differences in Close Curtains and Just Breathe, which I only wrote a few months ago. But it has always been one of my favourite songs to play in front of people. And I really like how I wrote it, even though I was young and kind of new to songwriting. I felt like that song perfectly described how I wanted my songs to sound. So if I were to record a new single now, it would definitely be my song Close Curtains.
I see. Right, well, I'm afraid that we're running out of time, but I'd like to thank Lauran very much for coming on. Thank you, Lauran, and I hope to speak to you again very soon. Hope to speak to you.